there. Alexis McAdams flagging that for us, and she has more details from nearby Russellton. Alexis, to you.
Molly, so we are here at this event, which is a fundraiser. That's why you can hear the music behind us, because we were kind of expecting today to just be a little bit of the community coming together. Didn't expect such a big news dump to come out early this morning. This is coming out from a Senate report now saying that the Secret Service not only made big mistakes that day, but according to a report that just came out from Senator Chuck Grassley, he says that the Secret Service knew there was a threat to President Trump's life for 10 days and didn't take action or share that information. So that's what we're learning this morning. You can see those pictures, though. That's from the rally, as we all know, a year ago on your screen. And those answers just coming out now. Grassley, who's the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Molly, released a Government Accountability Office report outlining those security breakdowns from last year. He says senior level Secret Service officials received classified intelligence regarding a threat to President Trump's life 10 days before that rally, but they didn't relay that information to the feds or other enforcement who would have needed it, because those were the guys working the rally that day. The report also finding that the agent who was supposed to secure the rally site was brand new. This was her first event. She was the one who was sent out there to try to get a lay of the land and figure out what rooftops and areas should have been covered that day. President Trump reflecting on the rally, that was almost his last.
A lot of things have happened since then, including the presidency. So, I have an obligation to do a good job, I feel, because I was really saved. I was really saved by somebody very special.
And Corey Comparator was killed at that rally. He was shot by the gunman while he was in the stands with his family. The Comparator family honoring his life today with this fest that's going on, and also those motorcycles that are going to be riding through the area. The family pushing for answers. Listen to this.
All right, I'm not going to lie. I know running a service business can feel like you're juggling a million things at once.
He was a wonderful human. He was just the best dad, he was the best husband. I mean, he was just a wonderful man. He would help anybody. He'd give you his last dollar.
Well, he was a hero that day.
He would have helped that kid.
And Molly, Helen told us just the other day she wanted to sit down with the Secret Service. She does have a meeting with the Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, who said, write down your questions. I'll do everything I can to answer them. But we're going to talk to Helen about this new GAO report, finding out that they knew there was a threat to President Trump's life 10 days, according to this report, before the rally, and didn't do anything to address it, according to this report. So we'll keep you posted, Molly.
Alexis, your interview with Helen has been amazing, and you can hear that desire for answers coming from her, and that heart might be the reason we all finally get these answers that we've all been waiting for, and now we're just beginning to get a little bit more insight. Great job, Alexis. Thank you very much, and our gratitude to Helen as well, and our heart continues to go out with her for the loss of her husband, Corey Comparator. Remembering that someone was killed that day, even as our president managed to survive. For more on that Senate report that we're just looking at, let's go to retired U.S. Secret Service agent who testified at the Assassination Attempt Task Force hearing. Patrick Sullivan joining me now. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the program and for giving us your thoughts today. There's this new report that's come out from the Government Accountability Office, and there are a few things. Just want to get your early thoughts on what we're beginning to learn. One of the things is that there was a senior level Secret Service agents that received some intelligence of a threat 10 days before the Butler rally, but then failed to relay that to the local and federal law enforcement. That's just one of the highlights. Your thoughts?
Well, if that's true, that's very disturbing. Sometimes intelligence comes in a very highly sensitive SCI environment where you have to be very careful how you distribute the information. But no matter what, if there's a threat against the president, the agents on the ground and the local police officers providing protection need to know the specifics of the threat so they can take appropriate countermeasures.
Another one is that the agent in charge of, quote, identifying site vulnerabilities was new to the job, that this rally was her first role in securing a large outdoor space. Your thoughts on that? And one would think that there would have been multiple people involved in ensuring that the space was safe. Your thoughts?
Well, there are multiple people involved, but as a new agent, you need to have an opportunity to be exposed to such big venues like the Trump rally. I'm sure there was other agents assigned to assist her, But I do want to say that the failures there are just not defensible. As a retired agent and even current agents, we feel that we really dropped the ball that day, and I'm very happy to see that actions taken to make sure this never happens again.
Yeah, there were six Secret Service agents that were suspended without pay, without benefits, 10 to 42 days, depending. No one was fired, though, and there was a quote from Matt Quing, the agency deputy director, who said there was an operational failure and that essentially they weren't going to be able to fire their way out of this. Your thoughts on the repercussions for individuals?
Well, Molly, the Secret Service has a long history of requiring agents who are on protective duties to give 100% of their ability. And it was clear to me that mistakes were made in Butler, and there was an exhaustive review, and Secret Service management and DHS management determined that mistakes were made, and those agents that made those mistakes are being held accountable. On the other hand, though, it's personally devastating to these agents. I'm sure none of them expected the president to get hurt that day, but they failed to do their duty to the best of their ability, and they left gaps that never should have been left. So I think the discipline's probably appropriate. Maybe firing is a little too harsh, I don't know. But of course, with Mr. Compatori's family, I want, on behalf of all current retired agents, extend our deepest condolences to his family and the families of the two other victims who were shot that day. This is tragedy, and people lost their lives because the Secret Service dropped the ball, and this can never happen again. But under the current director, Sean Curran, and Deputy Director Matt Quinn, I'm 100% confident that these failures will not be repeated.
Yeah. Helen Compator has been just an incredible spokesperson for her husband's memory, for all of the people that attended that rally that day and were put in danger, including the president. And she said that after she did this interview with Alexis McAdams, that the president called her, and also that that she had been reached by the Secret Service director, and that there could potentially be some conversations coming. Is her heart part of the reason that perhaps we'll all get answers?
Well, she deserves answers. Her husband was killed, murdered that day by Mr. Crooks, and she certainly deserves answers, and her family deserves answers, as well as the two other victims who were shot that day, their families, and they deserve answers. So I think it's completely appropriate for the director at the appropriate time to speak to Mrs. Compatori, and I'm very happy the president's already done so.
Yeah, Patrick, this is the president reflecting on this horrifying moment from 1 year ago. Take a listen to President Trump.
They should have had somebody in the building. That was a mistake. They should have had communications with the local police. They weren't tied in. And they should have been tied in. So there were mistakes made. And that, shouldn't have happened. And that building was a prime building in terms of what they were trying to do. So, but I was satisfied in terms of the bigger plot, the larger plot.